Okay, my friend, very briefly, I have a friend I haven't talked to in a couple of years, contacted me, said let's investigate the things you've been talking about. He's starting to watch my videos again, apparently, and he's a very intelligent guy, geologist, understands the earth very, very well, worked with the Army Corps of Engineers on water remediation, all that stuff. So he's an excellent source, and he's agreed to do video interviews with me while I explain the formations on the earth, and we can go back and forth. He's got a bunch of questions, I got a bunch of questions for him. We'll go back and forth, and maybe we got a bunch of questions for you, or you got a bunch of questions for us. So let's just get into it. I'm just prepping you up for this. And we're going to be getting into the Nag Hammadi text. We're going to be getting into Apollodorus, into Ovid, Hesiod, and all the rest of them, the normal ones, Plato and Herodotus, and all of them. And we're going to see what they had to say about our ancient past, because they were closer to the source than anybody. And I have found during the Mudfossil investigations, and Jim agrees with me 100%. He like he said, I don't know how to respond. He says, there's nothing I can say against what you're telling me. I said, well, just ask me questions. I said, whatever you think. I said, make me prove it. You're a geologist, make me prove what I'm saying. And he said, well, you're proving it without me making you prove it. I said, well, let's just talk. And then we went on, and what a conversation. He wants to know, he wants to understand. Now, we both are going to have maybe two different sides of a coin, who knows? That's what the whole thing is about, but he's very, very congenial, excellent to talk to. No fighting, just discussing. What do you think about this? Well, how do you take that? How could you say that? What do you think about this? No contentiousness. That's what you always run into. Well, that's what I've always run into. But he wants to know. He just wants the truth. So that's what we're going to be doing. Stick around with me. And we're going to, like I say, we're going to do the Nag Hammadi text. We're going to do the Gospel of Thomas. Seek and do not stop seeking until you find. When you find, you will be disturbed and you will marvel. Then you'll reign over all. And then he talks about, in this text, which is Jesus' own words while he was walking around alive, he said, when you discover the earth, you're going to discover a body. When you discover the earth, you're going to discover a corpse. And he also talked about us being light. All of these things we're going to be discussing. And these texts never were seen for over 2,000 years, because they were hidden, stored in these jars, because they would have been destroyed. And they were just uncovered in 1945. These are the Dead Sea Scrolls, but these are much better, in my mind. These are books, regular books, and they found, I think there's 50 different books, and they're all written by the main characters that were here walking around with Jesus. And most of this was written at a time when he came back to earth. After he was crucified, he came back, I think for 9 or 11 years, I can't remember. We're going to go through all this stuff. And at that point, he taught them much more than he taught them in the beginning. In the beginning, he just had to sort of ease into the fact that all this ancient stuff was real. And when he came back, he gave them all the enlightenment of Pistis Sophia and all that stuff, how things really were. And I think it shocked everybody. Well, yes, it did. All right, I'm just going to leave it at this. Jim and I are going to be talking about literally everything that there is. Light, polar fields around planets, crazy things in space, speed of light, all the gods, all the ancient texts, and try to understand what each one of them is saying, and then just lay it out so that we think. But this is not going to be a 10-minute process. This is not going to be a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 videos. This is probably going to last till I stop consuming oxygen, because there's so much. You just can't, I don't know how I could ever end. It's every day there's so much that I just get confused because there's so much. I have to put so much to the side, it just gets lost. But if I could get some, sort of an interaction with somebody, yeah, the last time we talked you said this or that, and then you guys ask us questions so that we can respond. Jim's a good source. So let's, if you're interested, this is where it's going to be. And they'll be starting tomorrow, probably. All right, thank you. And today is Monday, I think. All right, thank you. I will talk to you on Tuesday. All right, thanks, bye.